Well, hello there, Internet. Welcome back to our Refugee series. So, I have not played in about a week. I don't remember what we were doing, so we're going to take a moment, assess our situation, see what we've got going on, see what we need to work on, and then proceed from there. And I'm still out of practice with recording, so feel like I'm forgetting something. I got my phone timer, got my little notepad here for writing down whenever I cough or sniffle, and yeah. Oh, and the heater's on because it's like 20 degrees here. So, all right. So we settled on the outskirts of town. We were going to settle down here, but we saw a big old horde. And then didn't we see something else? Was it the cemetery? I was concerned about not settling down there. So we settled here instead, despite having seen Migo in the area. I remember that. There were spitters and body drops in the forest around here somewhere. And I feel like there was a reason I wasn't happy with this location either. Stupid keyboard. What did I see here that I did not like? Nothing. This seems fine. So I think we're gonna stay here. Well, that's right. There were some zombies in the hedge maze. I think I was a little rude about whoever made the hedge maze. I shouldn't have said all the things I said. Oh, it was the park. That's why I didn't want to settle here, because we were going to settle in one of these houses, and then I realized there was a park here. If you've watched any of my Cataclysm content, you know I think that the parks have outrageous monster density and need to be completely reworked. All right, so we have a house that we've settled in. We smashed up some of the furniture, so we have this nice open blank canvas for us to build our base at. We have a SUV or something. Is this my car? Did I have a security armored vehicle? Let's but it doesn't really matter at the moment. We have a vehicle somewhere. And we have, check our gear. We have an aluminum bat, which I remember thinking was underperforming. 22 bash is, it's plenty of damage. It unfortunately doesn't really have any techniques. That's the main thing I would be looking for in the early game. Early game rapid strike is really, really valuable. It does have a +3 to hit, which is probably the best part of using a baseball bat as a weapon. And 22 bash is not anything to sneeze at, but I think we also picked up a wooden bat somewhere. And a wooden bat will allow us to make the nail bat. If we just check for nail bat here. Nail bat. It's the same bash as the aluminum bat. I think it said 22, but it has a 4 additional pierce damage. No additional techniques, unfortunately. And it requires a proficiency. So it says the recipe will take 1.5 times as long as normal. Blah, 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 because you lack some of the proficiencies. So here's something that I have not really played with. You know, we've been on break or hiatus for a couple of months. Pretty much proficiencies did not exist the last time I recorded a series, and now they do. And I've seen a lot of people complain about them. I really think proficiencies are a very, very good idea. Because previously in Cataclysm, you could basically just read a book and become a master of every skill in the game, and this makes it so that you actually need practical experience in order to do a lot of things. The problem is, I do think they went a little bit overboard with proficiencies, because we have proficiencies for essentially everything. So this particular recipe is a nail bat. Nail bat literally requires you to hammer nails into a baseball bat, and yet it requires a carpentry proficiency in order to do this effectively, which I just went and complained about on Discord. So we'll see what people have to say about that. I'm sure that'll irritate some people. It just seems silly to require carpentry to make a nail bat. But yeah, this would be a improvement on our current weapon. This was 22. Yeah, so it would be 4 extra points of piercing damage, which is something. It's not super relevant at the moment. I really would prefer something that has the rapid strike ability. Usually in the early game, I will go with a quarterstaff, which I don't think we have the recipe for. I think it requires Fab 2, something like that we don't have. And presumably that would require carpentry. That would be something that would make sense, that you are shaping something into a quarterstaff. But anyway, we disinfected some bleeding wounds, or some bite wounds. I remember that, because we had to look for disinfectant. We're a little bit injured, but we're probably going to spend today looking for loot, because we are in the early game. Arms are very cold. We apparently grinded proficiency in locksmithing a little bit. Yeah, I would like a better weapon, but this is perfectly serviceable in the early game. So we'll stick with the aluminum bat for now. It's going to be more durable probably than the wooden bat anyway. Actually, you would think the opposite, but it's well made and can withstand combat. So problem is we're not going to be able to repair this. It is purely aluminum. There's no wooden components, so we would require an actual welder to fix this. Take a look at our clothing. We are wearing some leather gear, leather pants, leather corset, dragon skin vest. What? Kevlar. Oh. Okay. That seems real good. It is a vest, unfortunately, but that seems like excellent torso protection for this early in the game. And we have hard leg guards as well, and a hard hat. So we seem pretty good from a armor perspective. We would like something better on our legs, but a leather pair of pants will do. It is some protection, so that is something. Yeah, and the leg guards will help, of course. All right, so our arms then. It's our arms that are concerning because we don't have anything on our arms at all. We're wearing a vest. Oh, that's why our arms are cold. That makes perfect sense because we're wearing a vest. Anyway, that's enough looking at things people probably don't care about recapping because for you, you probably watched the previous episodes very recently. For me, it's been an eventful week. Okay. Why don't we take a moment to set up our base? You know what? I think I will keep a chair and table around. I never do this in Cataclysm. Can't be bothered to like eat at a table, but I think that would actually be good for me to, have some semblance of normalcy. So there's that. Let's take a look at our supplies. I remember we didn't find very much food, which was concerning. We have some cereal. Okay. And we have, I think, 2 charges of antiseptic left, something like that. Antiseptic, 2 charges. We do have some crack, which is not really what I'm looking for. And we have a heap of wood and stuff. Okay. So I think we go out and loot some. We do have some bandages on us. We have multi-tool. And that's probably the extent of our tools, really. But that'll do for now. Let's pick up, do we have any aspirin? We do. Give me all of them. It's fine. We'll take aspirin with us. And let's just start consolidating our things. Everything that we have that's food and whatnot. We should take a knife. I don't know. I think the multi-tool has a blade in it, but I don't think it's significant. 1 cutting quality. That's not great. And 7 butchering is not terrible. Actually, cutting, it doesn't really matter. It was butchery I was thinking of. I was thinking it was 1 butchery. So we look at something like a carving knife. Oh, yes. And I want to address this as well. People keep commenting and telling me that I can use the left and right angled brackets to pan through this description. That is incorrect. I know everyone, like I've gotten probably 6, 8 different comments saying, oh, you just use the greater than, less than symbols. That's not correct because I have basically never updated my configuration folder for the last 3 years. So back in the day when you would use the angled brackets greater than, less than, it was to move between tabs, which is now tab and shift tab. So a lot of my settings are from a really long time ago, so those are already bound for me. So I don't know what to look for in the key bindings menu. Scroll. Yeah, so I don't know what to look for here to rebind them, but I have basically no way of moving that item menu up and down. I can't think of what it would be called if not scroll. And we're not going to do this on camera because nobody wants to watch me do this, but I just want to point out again, because people keep bringing it up and saying like, oh, just use the brackets to move through this menu. No, that does not work for me because it just selects down to the next page in this. I just pointed at my screen, which no one can see. So just wanted to clear that up. Please stop commenting and telling me to use my angled brackets. I even said in a previous episode that did not work. So I appreciate that you take the time to comment. I don't get a lot of comments, but must have been 8 different people told me, oh, just use the angle brackets. No, that doesn't work for me. Definitely take the X-Acto, pliers for sure, screwdriver, and batteries, as well as the long strings. Great. Just gonna go through and loot the house. Oh, it's a little pantry area. That's really good because we don't have food. So we'll take all of this. I've never had pickled herring. It sounds gross, frankly. I'm not a big fish guy. although I do like most things that are pickled. I'm a big fan of pickled meat, even. It's not something I have often, but when I do, I enjoy it. Now, leave your medical supplies in your inventory. Okay, yes. I like pickled things. Pickled sausages are something that comes up occasionally. People will buy and share and whatever, and I actually quite like them. I know that's an uncommon thing. Most people don't. Did I take painkillers? I did, but it looks like they're wearing off. Go ahead and pop some more aspirin. I know that's uncommon. People often tease me about it, but yeah. So pickled fish just does not appeal to me. I'm a fan of like sushi and things like that, but I don't think that pickled herring is remotely the same thing as having like a sushi. I remember there was a time when they would sell, basically when I was incarcerated, there weren't very many options for purchasing meat. It was something that men often complained about because we would make our own food, you know, a lot of times and mix what we could buy, and make food out of it. And unfortunately, there wasn't really much meat that we could purchase through the prison, so we would end up eating this garbage. And one of the things they offered were pickled fish things. Oh, look at that. That little arrow is animated. I don't remember this being animated before. That's cute. I kind of like that. Oh, I'm on Undead People again. Man, I keep doing this. I really want to play with Altica. I also downloaded Altica to update it, and I forgot because I complained in a previous episode, I think, about Altica having... Man, I don't know. The whole thing with tile sets, I'm complicated, you know? Like, I like Altica, and I want to play with Altica, but I'm so used to Undead People still that when I play with Undead People, it just feels so much more natural to me. I'm considering going back to Undead People. Not like nothing against Altica. It's getting updated. It looks good. There are improvements coming all the time. I don't know. Undead People. I like the cutesy style and the little chibi characters and stuff. And I don't know. Don't hate me. I don't know. I'm still undecided. Like I said, I'm working on a project where I will end up using Undead People because I think it just is a more complete tile set. But I was trying to force myself to play with Altica. Anyway, so they would sell like pickled fish packets, kind of like, you know, if you've ever seen tuna in a pouch, where it's like a papery, plasticky, just pouch that you rip open and there's tuna inside. It's like a packet instead of a can. So they would have those, but they would have like full-on fish that's like soaked in hot sauce or like in a pickle brine or whatever. And they were some of the most disgusting things I've ever eaten. Also, they wouldn't take the bones out. So like you would get these pouches of like ground up fish, but it would have bones in it that you had to pick out. And it's like, if you're going to go through the trouble of like grinding up the fish into like a tuna style consistency, you should really take the bones out because people are going to choke to death on bones. And guys were just like, oh, just chew them up. It's no big deal. And I was like, no, it's freaking gross. Hated that. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, so I'm not a big fan of fish. Particularly, like, I have memories of, like, childhood and teenage years where someone would go fishing and they'd make fish for dinner, but then you had to pick the bones out of it. Like, I remember I must have been, like, 16. My girlfriend and I and her mom and her boyfriend, her mom's boyfriend, and like her little sister, we all went up to a cabin in the woods to stay for like 3 days or whatever. Kind of like he had a cabin just out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, everybody went fishing, which I don't like fishing. I don't like being outside very much because I'm a indoor kid. and frankly, I went up there to like make out in the woods with my girlfriend, not to sit around at a stinky creek fishing for, you know, animals that we were going to cut into pieces and fry on a grill. And he made grilled trout, and like you have to pick the bones out of it. Like they weren't fillets, of course. It's not like, you know, you went to the supermarket and picked up a fillet. It's like a proper fish. And so they would just grill it in tin foil, and then you had to pick apart, the meat and the bones, and like, I don't know, something about that just makes it so much more gross to me, having to pick out something's bones. I don't like thinking about how meat used to be a living creature. I'm absolutely a carnivore. I enjoy eating meat. I'm not a veggie person. I do prefer vegetables for the most part, but I'm very poor, and it tends to be cheaper, like just to go out and buy some ground up meat. It's a more filling, kind of cheap, inexpensive thing versus going out and buying. Like, let's say I went to my grocery store and was like, oh, I want a snack. Well, beef jerky at the grocery store is probably like $3 for like a pound of meat or whatever. But if I want like a vegetable tray or something, it's like $6, And it's just not as filling. Vegetables aren't as filling. So I don't know. Just whenever I think about buying like veggie stuff, I always end up thinking, and like health food is way more expensive than junk food. I always end up buying just garbage and eating microwavable ramen or whatever because it's so much cheaper than getting something with like actual vegetables and, oh, this is a healthy food. And then vegan crap is so expensive and half the time it tastes like garbage. And anyway, not to ramble about that. But yeah, so like something about, I don't like the idea of thinking about meat as anything but meat. Like I want it to just be some meat dish. We're not on the end house. We're in the middle house. No, we're not. So this is the end house, house next door. Then this is the strip club. Why though? It should be 3 houses. This is 1 house. This is this second house. Is this 2 houses? It can't be, because the line would be here or here, because this driveway is connected to this house. So that's 1 block. Then this is 1 block. So why is it the strip club next when it should be a 3rd house based on looking at the map here? What am I missing? I'm missing something. Okay. Well, whatever. We should check this side anyway since we cleared the other side. Yes, I see you, Zambi. Let's just kill the Zambi. Oh, I'm supposed to get a question. It's supposed to be a question in every video. Pull up my list of questions. These questions have not been working out for me so far. I did go through and edit the grammar on some of them, so they should be a little bit more sensible. Okay, just scroll, look for a random question. What is your favorite ice cream? Oh man, these questions are so bad. Okay. That's a terrible question. Okay. I like plain vanilla ice cream. I'm not a big ice cream guy. Ice cream is dairy. Man, I went all the way down to almost a broken arm, and I didn't even notice until it was too late. All right, well, let's stop our bleeding. We need to get something on our arms like ASAP. Anything that can absorb even a mild blow. Zombie child spotted. Where are you, though? Yes. Where is the zombie child? All the way to the north. Hostile, but it can't see me. Apply the bandage. Stop the heavier of the bleeding wounds. Tis but a scratch. No, that one. The one that's actually bleeding. And you know what? We'll use the other one on the other arm just to stop the bleeding. Okay, we really need to pay attention to our health thing. I'm still, not accustomed to playing. It's been quite a bit. I feel like I'm a tank, and I'm not actually a tank. I need to be much more cautious. And we need to put something on our arms. So we need to be keeping an eye out for a leather jacket, a hoodie, really anything that can put a little bit of thick clothing layer between our arms and constant damage. So we will have to make a point of doing that. And we need to be really careful about engaging. We shouldn't even have fought that tough zombie. We should have just backed off, went outside. Maybe we could have found a rose bush or something to lure him over so that it's less damaging. And honestly, given that I haven't played in a while and given that I'm trash, we should maybe focus on spears instead of going with blunt weapons like I normally do. I stopped using spears a long time ago because they're a little OP. They're just too strong for what they are in my mind. So I don't usually play with them, but maybe we should play with a spear just to get that reach damage instead of constantly putting ourselves in danger. We'll have to think about that. For now, though, let's continue looting the house and let's not get into any more fights, I think. Would be a mistake. Instant coffee mix. Just loose on a cabinet, huh? A small packet of commercial instant coffee. Oh, it is in a packet. Neat. This was a very recent addition to the game within the last week or two. Yeah, pretty cool to have instant coffee in the game. We never have, and I thought that was silly. What I find odd is that it says instant coffee instead of saying like packet of instant coffee, or like here it says glass jar of sauerkraut. I would expect to see that, but we don't actually have that. So that's a bit peculiar, but maybe that's just the way they had to set that up. So let's look for something for our arms. I think the other house had long underwear top, which we could put on, which would cover our arms and be a close to the skin layer. That way we, could layer up and have stuff on top of that as well. Here we have a long sleeve shirt. Why don't we put that on for the time being? I like kilts as well, but this one is wool instead of, I prefer the leather kilts, but wool is fine. In fact, we're not wearing a kilt, are we? We're wearing leather pants. Yeah, put on that kilt, I think. I'm sorry, I'm looking through and I'm trying to see what would be on the outer layer. Where the kilt, does that conflict with these leg guards? It conflicts with leather pants. Normal clothing on your legs. Why is a kilt a normal layer though? That would be an outer layer on your legs. Do the legs not have an outer layer? Is that why? Okay, take off the kilt. I don't want to be slower than I need to be. Put on the long sleeve shirt. And how warm are our legs? Torso is very warm. Legs are pretty warm. So I don't think the long underwear bottoms are going to be good for us because they're going to just make us really hot. So we'll ignore those for now. What was I talking about? Oh yes, I'm not a big dairy guy. Ice cream in general is not something that interests me very much. So I don't really eat ice cream. Usually a couple times a year, maybe. I will have some ice cream. Here's a long underwear top, so we will put that on. Long underwear top. We also have a leather kilt, which is something I would prefer to have. That will replace our leather pants as they get damaged. It's kind of interesting. There are way too many of these spawns in Cataclysm. Like, I think it's because of single-use storage, just the way that works. The kilts spawn with way too much frequency. Leather pants spawn with way too much frequency. Most people don't own kilts. But currently you can find a kilt in basically every dresser in the game. So that's something that should probably be addressed at some point. Check this dresser. Take the aspirin. Not a big ice cream guy. When I was a teenager, we would go for ice cream pretty frequently. But I'm really not an ice cream guy. I like gelato, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of frozen desserts. I also have bad teeth and have had bad teeth since I was a teenager. So a lot of times eating cold foods can cause me some pain, depending on, the state of my teeth in that moment. We should head back and drop our stuff off. I am worried about this zombie child because they are hard to hit and I really don't want to get in another fight right now. So we're just going to slink back to our base here. Definitely go in the back door because I don't know how clear the front is. I don't remember. When I do have ice cream, I prefer just plain old vanilla ice cream. Nothing fancy, too often. If I, say I went to the dollar store. I did this a couple times this year when it was summertime. Went to the dollar store and was like, I just want a cheap thing of ice cream. Well, they don't actually just have ice cream. It's always like Sour Patch Kids ice cream, chunks of Sour Patch Kids and sugar in this. It's like I don't want that. Oh, Reese's Pieces ice cream. It's got frozen hard as rock Reese's Pieces in it. It's like, no, I don't want that. I just want regular. Just give me some ice cream. I don't need Snicker pieces. I don't need Reese's cups. I don't need Butterfingers. I just want some damn ice cream, and it's so difficult to find just regular ice cream at the dollar store. So I don't really eat ice cream, and when I do, I'm usually frustrated by flavor. I don't like crap in my ice cream. Why eat ice cream if you just want to put a candy bar in it? Just doesn't appeal to me. But anyway, feel free to leave me your answers in the comments down below and let me know what your favorite ice cream is. That is the point of asking these questions, is to get feedback from the audience and try to engage with you. Although I admit this question is not very good. And frankly, I don't really care too much about ice cream, so I don't know. Seems like a silly thing to... can I put on a wedding ring just for flavor? You can. Yay. How many rings can I wear? I'm just going to collect and wear like 70 wedding rings in the apocalypse. That way, if I come across any particular partners, then they'll know I'm super married and no one will hit on me and I don't have to worry about it. There'd be no uncomfortable silences as we, stumble through and I explain to them that I'm kind of in a relationship, but maybe, we haven't defined things quite yet, and et cetera, et cetera. I can just flash my, 60 rings and be like, sorry, I'm taken. All right, nothing there. I want a little hesitant to move up to the front of the house, given that there could be zombies out there and we're pretty wounded. Now, we have very limited disinfectant even after clearing a few of these houses. So repairing the damage on our body is going to be a bit tricky. Already searched those. Check the bathroom. I think we hit all the local bathrooms the first time when we were looking for disinfectant. So our arm is very injured, but when we go to bed, we're probably just going to be bandaging it because we're not going to have the disinfectant to spare, which is really troublesome because that's going to be a slow healing wound for sure, as injured as it is. Take the soap. Might as well take the inhaler, I guess. So yeah, we already looted most of this stuff. And we should probably grab some gallon jugs because I don't think we ever picked any up. So, okay, we're building ourselves a little heap of stuff. We'll take all of this since we're just going to head back and drop things off anyway. We're building up our pile of crap, which is an important step in Cataclysm. Everybody is a hoarder in this game. In fact, we'll check the neighboring bedroom as well. I don't think we looked at the clothes in here. See if there's anything we want. Sleeveless cotton trench coat. No, thank you. A yukata. Easy to wear breezy robe secured with a sash. Essentially Japanese pajamas. Great for summer nights. Sure. I'll take the scarf, I guess. Cloak. Heavy cloak meant to be thrown over your body. Once again, how many people in New England have cloaks in their bedroom? Just seems like an odd thing to be spawning, frequently. Let's go drop these things off. Yeah, ice cream. That's a dumb question. I should just make up my own questions. I don't know why I even use these lists when they half the time ask questions that nobody cares about. Most of you don't want to answer these anyway. We already are dropping. We need more bandages as well. Since we're here, we should make some bandages. Drop all that. Oh, well, I made a video recently talking about my favorite creatures in Cataclysm, which you should go watch if you haven't watched it, although quite a few people watched it, so that's a good sign that was a good video. But, yeah, why don't you, instead of telling me your favorite ice cream, or do both, I don't really care, what's your favorite monster in Cataclysm? What's the thing that, like, puts the fear in your heart when you see it? What scares you the most? What's your favorite, even if it's not the scariest, what is like your favorite creature in Cataclysm? So let me know. I'm genuinely curious about that one. I don't know what people like and dislike. I explained in the video why I like the ones that I like, but I don't know. I feel like my tastes and stuff are so peculiar in general. Usually people don't agree with me when it comes to that sort of stuff. So I'm curious what people actually like about the monsters. So just leave me a little comment. Say, oh, such and such is my favorite, and here's why. I would like to read those, honestly. Pop over here. Still avoiding that child zombie. I was really hoping they'd spot like a doggo or something and go running off into the distance, but kids are just too hard to hit in this game and can deal a lot of damage before you put them down. I am wearing a shirt now, so we do have at least something on our arms, but breaking this arm is actually really, really bad. If we break that on like day one like we are, that would be extremely terrible, and I don't want that to happen. So We're going to peek in this strip club because I don't know what would be in here. Another zombie child. What are these? Community garden. Celery, onion, cabbage, potatoes. Okay. I don't know what people grow in community gardens. Tomatoes always seem to be the most popular thing. I don't think we looted this house because it's missing memory tiles. So we could pop in there. I really don't want to fight this child zombie though. We're too injured to just be gallivanting around smacking things. Gallivanting is a good word. All right, so crawling zombie as well. They're all in that field though. Where's the third one? Crawling zombie, zombie, zombie. Okay, so there's 4 of them, and they're south of the garden. I don't want to go down there. We're too injured. I think we're very hot as well. Heat slow down 10% on our torso. Why is our torso so hot? Leather corset, long underwear top, t-shirt, long sleeve shirt. Well, let's lose the t-shirt because the coverage on the long sleeve shirt is going to be better for our arms. I'm blanking. T-shirt doesn't have very much warmth, but it's something. And then I think we probably should lose the long underwear top. It's going to be the warmest thing. The corset is leather, and it's just... I mean, we don't need the corset. If we think about it, the dragon whatever vest covers our torso. The corset also only covers our torso. This does not apply to our arms. So it's just more protection on top of the dragon skin vest. I think the vest is enough for the time being. You'll see our torso, despite the rest of us taking a beating. Torso's in perfect health. I think we can lose the corset for now. We will eventually lose the dragon vest as well because we're not going to be able to repair it. But for the time being... Why do I still see a zombie child? Okay. For the time being, I think that the dragon vest is the better choice. Let's pop back in here, and I think we'll call the episode here, just because it's over 30 minutes. Trying to keep these short. Oh, we didn't even talk about my brother. There's so much going on. He had COVID, and then was really concerning, and now he's out of the house, which means I'm actually like super comfortable again in my own house, which has been amazing. It's so crazy how much better I feel with him out of the house. So I was like, get some recording done, feeling good. You know, I don't have to worry about my brother spying on me, listening to me, you know, making me uncomfortable, freaking me out, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm recording today. So for now, everybody, thanks for watching. Hopefully you had a good time. Again, still trying to get my sea legs, so to speak, getting back into the realm of recording. Hopefully everything was okay, but that's going to be a wrap on this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to leave me those comments about what your favorite creature is and why. I'm actually genuinely interested. You know, a lot of times we get these questions and I'm like, what are people even going to say? Oh, well, like one of them was about, what if I land on a crazy new planet? What do you do? I'm like, even if people respond to that, it's such a weird question. Does it even matter? Like what we're like, I don't know. But this one, I'm genuinely curious. What's your favorite creature in the Cataclysm, and why is it your favorite? So anyway, that's going to be a wrap. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.